Hello and welcome to GLR Workshop here in Barry. We're going to have a few sessions now looking at how to build an Airfix model. What we're going to be looking at to start with is the Airfix starter kits, which come with almost everything you need to build what's inside. So this one is an airborne Jeep with a howitzer and a trailer. It comes with the paints you need, the glue and even a paintbrush. The only thing that you will need in addition to this is a work area, some clippers or a knife. I prefer clippers, and some sort of file or emery board. Now, just to go over a few of the items of equipment that you can use, I use these clippers. Sell them in the shop as well, army painter ones. You've got miniature files, various other types of glue that don't come in the starter set. So the starter set has plastic glue, which is like this one here, which is fine. I also use super glue, which obviously you've got to be a bit more careful that you don't glue yourself to things because it dries a lot quicker. But it's very handy for building kits. And then obviously paints. Now you get the paints in the starter set, which is fine, but you can also buy the paints separately. I use Humbrol ones. I use acrylic, which means they're water-based, so that way you don't have to worry about using thinners and other cleaners to clean your brushes. So there's no chemicals involved. You can just wash them in water. So that's what I use. So let's have a little look inside this paint set then. Starter set. Okay, now that I've opened it all up, I've laid all my parts out to see what I've got, made sure nothing is missing off any of the screws, they all look intact. Yep, can't see anything missing, it all looks like it's there. I've got the all-important instruction sheet, and you'll find within this a list of colours, of what to paint, and a nice step-by-step guide on how to assemble it. So we'll flick through, and there's some various warnings and icons which are quite handy to understand what they mean, and we've got the first page of instruction. So the best thing to do is go through part by part. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to start off with what looks like the chassis underframe of the Jeep. Lay that out in front of me and we'll find the parts. So it needs part A5, A5 and B26. No, that's the paint numbers. So what we actually need is part 33. That on this one. Half the fun of this is trying to find where the parts are. That looks like part 33. No, it's part 5. Well, that is correct. So yes, A5, B26 and B18. The other numbers are just the paint numbers. Okay, so I need the following numbers then. So I need A5. Now I use clippers, and the easy thing to do is don't worry about getting it right up to the surface. There will be something left on it, but gently clip it away. Even if it leaves a little bit of the frame on the part you want, that's what the files are for. You can file them off later. So there we are. I've now got part of the underframe, and what you'll notice is along the sides along here there's some rather annoying bumps. If I bring it a bit closer to the camera, you can see along here there's the bumps on it. Here you can see the part in a bit more detail, and if I show you this side against the back of there, this side has all been nicely smoothed and filed with the emery boards, and you can see little bits sticking up here and here. So those are the things that you want to get off. And you'll notice on this end as well, there's two stick out bits just here. Those are actually part of the moulding process and can be removed as well. So this is where you need to use clippers or something similar. Get behind them like so and clip. You'll notice that's where it's left a little bit behind on there. So this needs to be emeryed, and there's also a bit in between left behind there as well. Like I say, you can use files. It's best to use finer files if you can, something like these army miniature ones, army painter miniature ones. Or if you haven't got any of those, you can use something like an emery board as well, and just gently file along it and keep checking so you don't go too far into it. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my emery board. Actually, a file's just as good, but an emery board, same thing that you'd use to file nails, and gently file on this. Press gently and nice smooth movements. Here's one done, I'll just do the other one. And we'll get a close-up of these as well that you can see in a moment, see the difference. I'll leave the other side as it is. So, you need to go through and do this with every single part, but only do it when you come to it. If you take all the parts out now and put them in a pile, yes, a lot of them are easy to identify, but you'll end up with some of the larger kits with so many parts, there's hundreds of parts in the larger kits, that it gets confusing. It's much nicer to be able to look through and find the right numbers. You'll notice that each sprue has got a letter as well. So for instance, this one here is sprue A and this one is sprue B. So it makes it a lot easier to find parts when they're labelled like that. And there's even a sprue C here which has got the windscreen on. So that's what we need to do. We need to prepare that part and then get ready to glue in what looks like the leaf springs to the rest of it. So we'll get on with that now. So that's one piece prepared. I now need to find the next part. So one of these is, let's have a look, we've got B26. So I need to find sprue B, which is what I'm on. 25, 26. It's a very small part. It looks like it could be a toe hitch or a toe hook. So I'm going to hold that carefully and I'm going to clip it off. Again, leaving a bit of the sprue on, doesn't matter. I will file that off. Now these very small parts can be quite awkward, and the end of that trying to file it. So I use one of these because it won't rub any of your skin off unless you're really filing it hard. Make sure there's nothing sticking out off it. Also, if you're doing this, I know I'm not, but it's best to be over something, so if you do end up dropping it, it just falls onto the surface. So this part now attaches to the front of the model here. Let's have a go at attaching this tiny little part. Now, according to the instructions, it fits on the end of here in this little part. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the super glue. Let's take the top off. Actually, I have one that I prepared earlier. You only need a very, very tiny amount of glue, and I suggest doing it on the bigger piece because it's easier, you won't get it on your fingers. Apply a very small amount. There we go. If you find it's too hard to pick up these tiny pieces, like I'm having difficulty with now, a pair of tweezers, very handy. You'll find tweezers all over the place. Again, nail file kit is one of the ideal things to raid for this. Let's see if I can get this hook in. Cool, this is very difficult. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use, very carefully, my set of clippers. So here we are. I'm going to place this in position. Now some pieces you may need to hold for quite a while. This one's lucky, it's quite a tight fit, and as you can see it fits in nicely and is the front of the hook. Repeat this for every stage in the kit. So there we are, that's how to prepare parts ready for assembly. That is only one very small part of this kit. You need to now do the rest of the kit, which I will show you some techniques in further videos.